Alright, hello and welcome to Radio General, a game where you play as a Canadian Army general with a radio, hence the name. So, can we successfully command our troops to victory in the Second World War? We shall see. So to get started, we're going to create a new campaign, go ahead and call it For King and Country, because that sounds very, I don't know the word for it. We're going to use NATO symbols instead of figurines. I've played before, but I still want to show the tutorial, so for those of you who have not played this game before, can see what it's like and decide if it's worth a purchase. Came out on Steam yesterday, I believe, so let's go ahead and begin.
On December 17, 1939, the first Canadians landed in Britain, vanguard of a great army. They came to finish the job that their fathers had begun a quarter of a century before. In June 1940 came the first call to action. In high spirits, they marched to the ships on their way to France, itching for a fight. Once across the Channel, the Canadians penetrated more than 200 miles. But with the tragic collapse of France came the order to return to Britain. In the dark days after Dunkirk, almost the only trained and equipped troops between Hitler and London were General MacNaughton's Canadians, who stood guard throughout those days of high tension. While hurricanes swept the sky, Canadian ack-ack batteries blazed at the Luftwaffe from the ground, playing their part in the Battle of Britain. And now the Canadians are preparing to rip through the Huns when the Allied War Council gives the signal for the cross-channel dash on the road to Berlin. The Canadians are ready. 0 hour is coming.
All right, so we're starting in 1942 with the Dieppe raid. I apologize if I am mispronouncing that. Okay, so old Uncle Joe Stalin is demanding a second front to be opened, and we're going to do it. We attack in the morning. Let's go ahead and begin. Alright, so we're here in our command post. One of the things that this game does very well is actually present the historical documentation from the time period. So, let's see. This is a historic port town, seaside resort, Pebble Beach, white chalky cliffs, heavily fortified coast with barbed wire mines, traps, and pillboxes. Interesting stuff. So basically we're wanting to seize this so we're able to establish a beachhead and then assist with the invasion of France. Now, as you'll notice, this is 1942, so you can probably guess how this is going to occur. We've got Canada declaring war, and some photos of this operation coming underway. But let's go and get to the gameplay portion itself. Alright, this is the tutorial, of course, so we'll go ahead and proceed. I've been given command of a commando unit. Interesting. What could possibly go wrong? So one of the perks of this game is using voice commands. I find that it's a lot more fun, so we're going to try them out, use them, and see how it goes. Start mission.
Here, you heard the general. Move out!
Alright, yep, we can move around. Got it. That's awesome. Cool. Yep, scroll in and out. Cool, got it. Okay, so, of course, we're not at the front lines. We're commanding from somewhere else. Okay. There's Able Company. Alright, so what we can do is we can right-click, see the unit status. It's a commando unit. Read more. They're basic infantry. Good stuff. And voice commands are activated by spacebar. Hold that. Okay, cool. Able. Report status.
Able, we're at November 9.
So one of the things with this game is you have to
Charlie here.
physically move the icons around on the highest realism settings so that you can actually see where your forces are located.
Artillery at location 2.
Alright, awesome.
Charlie, get to a foxhole. Don't move until the barrage lets up.
So of course we're going to attack the artillery. Able, move to location 2.
Able here, roger. Moving to location 2.
Alright, so you'll see all this
artillery in range. Time for
cool guys' stats and stuff here. With high realism after this mission, you don't see that. You kind of just have to go off of the units reporting, which I think is a lot more fun, interesting, etc. So just kind of watching Able destroy the. Hey, if you guys have any questions as well, you can always use the chat function. I'll be monitoring, so I'll either answer in game or type back on chat. It's getting chaotic and a bit difficult.
Enemy artillery battery is out of commission.
Alright, we've taken hill number 2.
Able here. We've arrived at location Charlie. This is on the mission. Much heavier than expected. We're pinned down. We won't be able to move forward until our tanks have landed. Able here. We can see infantry at WWII.
So, attacking a town with one infantry unit by itself is a terrible idea, but this is the tutorial, and it's going to show us how bad of an idea that is. Able, move to location 1.
Able here. Count on us to capture WWII.
Alright, got it. We'll probably engage in about kilo 10 here.
Able here. They're using that church as a base of fire. Keep moving forward.
So the bottom stat here is their morale. Obviously, if their morale breaks, the unit will retreat, or rout, I guess in this case. Retreat is when you actually give it the order to withdraw in an orderly fashion from contact. Check out the messages here if you need to review anything.
Able here. Rockets are mounting quickly here. We're taking too much fire. We gotta fall back.
Abel's morale hit 0, causing a panicky retreat. Of course. Alright, we're gonna get in some infantry. Deploy reserve infantry.
HQ here, reserve infantry, coming right up. Infantry, company, reporting for duty. We'll be Baker. We're at Charlie 11. It always comes down to the infantry.
That it does.
Baker here. We're here at y'all 10. Able here. Everyone shut up and calm down. Sorry about that. We're at Mike 9.
Alright, perfect. So we're going to have both of these guys attack at the same time, both Able as well as Baker. Able, Baker, move to location 1.
Baker here, preparing to assault. WWII. Baker here, got eyes on infantry at WWII. Baker here, the streets are covered in
course, flanking obviously lowers the enemy's defense and results in their morale being reduced, significantly quicker than just attacking them from one direction. Pretty obvious. We'll see some other ways of taking the town done by the enemy in a few moments. After we remove Tango 4, entrench in the vicinity of Location 1, and then continue from there.
1 minute. Baker here. WWII is under new management.
Alright, cool.
Able here. We've arrived at WWII. Charlie here. Half our tanks are lighted, but the treads can't get traction on these damn beats. We need more time.
Baker, move to Hotel 10.
Baker here. Headed to Hotel 10.
So we're going to defend this crossroads with Baker. Abel's going to remain in the vicinity of the town itself and prevent enemy forces from being able to move to the beaches. Abel, Baker, dig in.
Baker here. Grab your doubles, boys. We're digging in.
And this will take a little bit of time. It says, why not read the officer's manual? Sure, we'll go through it. So you've got some different units available: infantry, scouts, tanks, engineers, anti-tank guns, artillery, naval artillery, and snipers. Sorry about that. Got one of those alerts going on. So this basically gives you some general idea on what these different units can do, what they're weak at, etc. So, for example, later on in the game, you'll find that scouts are good at killing snipers, for example. Okay, since we're just waiting for these guys to dig in, we're going to fast forward until they report in that they're good.
Baker here. All soldier done. Let's get cozy. Enough to keep HQ here. Enemy reinforcements are arriving from the south.
Alright.
Charlie here. Those Panthers, they're one of those skinny Panthers. You can't let them reach the beaches, or it'll be even more of a massacre.
So we've got enemy panzers moving towards Abel and Baker. They're dug in.
Able here. Got a visual on deck. Find vehicle. Enter the kill zone. Aim. Baker here. Watch the ambush.
So there's not really anything we can do here, but as you'll see pretty quickly, our units, even though they're dug in, they're decent against enemy tanks, especially if you have the high ground. So for example, if we had Baker over here, we could probably kill tank 6. But at this point, the enemy's attacking with both tanks as well as infantry, so at this point, we have the option of ordering Abel and Baker to retreat, but then all of this stuff can go straight down to the beaches. Another thing you can do is actually grab some, if I can do this here. So basically, the enemy's now going to be able to go down to the beaches itself.
HQ here. Intel reports the enemy has captured Al-Klabatai.
Abel, report status. Alright, so we've got nothing here, so it's safe to assume that our units, in the event that they still exist, are broken down to be non-combat effective. Baker, report status.
HQ here. All units are to withdraw. Destroyers will provide supporting fire to cover your retreat. Naval guns of HMCS Saskatchewan reporting in as call sign. Fox, the boys are ready.
Cool. Fox, fire barrage, Hotel 3.
Fox here. Raining thunder down on Hotel 3.
So we're going to target Bear, then we're going to move over to Puma as soon as they're complete with that fire mission.
Keep those coordinates coming.
Fox, fire barrage at Kilo 3.
Fox here. Coordinates confirmed. Firing barrage at Kilo 3.
I will say the voice commands actually work pretty decently.
The fire mission was successful.
Alright, we'll fire at India 4. Fox, fire barrage at India 4.
Fox here. Roger. Dropping shells on India 4. Charlie. Fuck here! Yeah, that was aggressive!
Alright, ships are pulling out, and that is the conclusion of this operation. So, this is of course the first tutorial mission, so
Got the better of us this time. We'll be back, though.
there's really not...
Your time is up and the operation is over. All units sign up.
A response from Abel and Baker.
Fuck here! Artillery battery still operational. Where's our next sergeant?
Okay, minor defeat, a loss, but the war continues. So this is the standard outcome for this mission. There's really, to my knowledge, no way to bypass it in the normal scripted thing, which is historically accurate. Soldiers under your command have been killed, their families must be notified. Alright. Awesome, getting to write letters to soldiers' dead parents. It is with sincere regret that I inform you of the death of your son, Private Wallace Young. He was an outstanding soldier who fought bravely for king and country. Alright, we'll go ahead and confirm, move on from there. Pretty interesting touch. Okay, and this here tells the historic outcome. So basically, really this was kind of the testing grounds that enabled D-Day to be successful. Obviously it was pretty costly. A lot of young soldiers lost their lives during this operation, but lessons learned did make it into at least the consciousness of the generals and commanders at the time. So D-Day, as you know, was significantly more successful. Alright, got another film we can watch, so we'll go ahead and view that. Tank Landing number 4 from the Canadian Army Newsroom.
Like all the rest of the Canadian Army, the 1st Army Tank Brigade is going to sea these days. For combined ops is the order of the day, and no amount of training can be too great. There must be perfect cooperation with the Navy, and an understanding of the problems facing the men who bring the landing craft to the assault feature. As the LCTs approach the beach, the ramps are lowered and the tanks prepare to move ashore. These are Churchill, the tanks that landed at Dieppe. In one glorious day of battle, they gained valuable experience that helped make the landings in North Africa successful. Dieppe was a great combined ops proving ground. And remember, Jerry, next time we go to stay.
I love 1940s trash talking, you know? It's like, remember, Jerry, the next time we go to stay. Very uplifting. Okay, go ahead and look at some of these documents. Interesting. And let's see. Alright, makes sense. Okay, we're going to go ahead and carry on with our next operation in 1942, which is a training operation. Dieppe has proved far more training is needed before we're ready to face the Germans again. Yes, absolutely. So, this goes into more of the detailed portions of the game, which we're going to go ahead and play. Basically, how to use some specialized units such as scouts, anti-tank guns, field artillery, as well as what to do when your guys get lost on the battlefield and how you can assist them with land navigation, and presumably make fun of their commanders when they return. Alright, we're at Aldershot, home of the British Army. Alright, so a lot of Canadians pass through here underwear for training. There is another film, which we'll go ahead and watch it for the historic aspect. Making Them Tough. This should be interesting.
You've got to be tough to take the new kind of war, and one of the jobs of the battle wing at CTS is to make the Canadian Army that way. The obstacle course plays its part in getting officers and men into prime condition, and it's no small part either. You can take it or leave it, but you can't leave it. You've just got to take it. Careful now, Joe, or you'll be caught with them down.
Alright, cool. We're going to go ahead and start the mission. Of course, I will use voice commands. Okay, as stated, so when ready, we can say start mission. I'd rather do that in a minute. Let me go ahead and get Able to report in. Let's have a smoke while we're at it. Able, report status.
Able here. We're lost, but we can see a road 1 kilometer south of us and a hill 1 kilometer northeast of us.
So basically you're at Lima 6. Got it. Thanks, Able. Next time, maybe learn to read a map. Yes, quite. Start mission.
Q here. Affirmative. Moving into position.
Okay, cannot see your units. Ask them for location over the
Princess
radio.
Patricia, light infantry. Scout here. You can call us Able. I think we're lost.
Able, report status.
Able here. We're lost, but we can see a road 1 kilometer south of us and a hill 1 kilometer northeast of us.
I love how our scouts are lost. Able, head south.
Able here. Got it. Moving south. Able here. We're not lost anymore. We're at Kilo 6.
Wow, amazing. Excellent. Okay, cool. So once your units finally figure out where they are, in this case by running into a road, you're then able to actually be given commands, which is a great thing. Baker, report status. And of course their radios don't work, because that's the type of war we're in right now. If a unit with working radios moves near them, Able has working radios, where could we possibly go from here? Alright. Able, move to grid, Foxtrot 3.
Able here. Foxtrot 3. It is.
Perfect. Go ahead and throw this over here. Take a smoke from the old pipe while we're waiting. Because, you know, plenty of things.
Baker here. Radios are back up. Never missed the sound of your voice. We're at Foxtrot 5.
Perfect. So, more status, we can tell that Baker is the Royal Canadian Artillery. Pull up our book here and see all the specific information if we're into reading the field manual.
Able here. We've arrived at Foxtrot 3.
Okay, cool. Alright, Able, you're at Foxtrot 3. That's great.
HQ here. Informants have told us the enemy has captured location 1.
Able, move to location 1.
Able here. Consider location 1 to be ours. Able here. We can see infantry at location 1.
So whenever your units see infantry, you click this tag thing that pops up during the message. You can name them whatever you want. I usually just go with the default and tag the enemy. What's actually kind of annoying is the fact that we're using NATO icons, but whenever the tag comes up, or you'll see later on during some of the missions for estimating the enemy force's strength, they're also their, odd generic graphic icon representations as opposed to NATO. It'd be pretty cool if the developers actually release that in the next patch to fix that portion, but we'll see. Baker, fire barrage at location 1.
Baker here. Artillery firing at Juliet 2.
Yes, fake NATO icons are extremely lame. I agree.
Able here. We lost sight of Alligator. They were last seen at location 1, heading northeast.
Okay, so...
Baker here. I'm getting reports that did some real damage.
Able, move to location 1.
Able here. Stay frosty, everyone. Heading to location 1. Able here. Location 1 is ours now.
We're gonna go ahead and see what's up with that.
Able here. Select out an entire infantry company.
Okay, cool. So they're dead. We can take them off the map. Able, move to location 3.
Able here. Roger. Moving to location 3.
So as you can probably guess, obviously scouts are good at scouting. Deploy reserve anti-tank guns.
HQ here. Deploying reserve anti-tank guns. Royal Canadian.
Able, report status.
Able here. We're at Kilo 4. We're headed to location 3.
Alright, Charlie's at Foxtrot 3. Charlie, move to location 2.
Charlie here. Roger. Garrisoning location 2.
Okay, Abel's calling up on the radio.
Able here. Spotted tanks at Oscar 7. Heading west.
And yeah, the climbing wall was pretty interesting. I think that was a kind of a predecessor going into D-Day with the lessons learned from the previous operation of, oh, we actually need to be able to climb this stuff. Alright, got it. Press 1, talk to Able. Cool, got it. Great times. There they are. There.
Able here. Got a visual on there at Oscar 7. Heading west.
Charlie, report status.
Charlie here. We're at Go 5. We're en route to location 2. Able here. Got eyes on there at Lima 7. Heading west. Charlie here. We've arrived at location 2.
Perfect.
Charlie. Able here. We lost visuals on there. They were last seen at Hotel 7. Heading enemy panzers are shelling our positions in the town.
Okay.
Baker here. Spotted there at Golf 7.
So we're fighting Bear, which is a company of tanks with our company of anti-tank guns. Should go well for us. You can tune into different guns. Let's go ahead and get Baker in the fight here.
Baker here. Got a visual on there at Golf 7.
Baker. Fire barrage at Golf 7. Golf 7.
Baker here. Raining thunder down on Golf 7. Charlie here. Enemy panzers falling back. Charlie here. We can no longer see. Here. They were. Baker here. Bombardment was on target.
Perfect.
Able here. It's a full-blown rout. The enemy's all running.
And that is the training
That's
operation
the wrap.
completed.
All units dig in and wait till relief. Able here. Didn't take a scratch. Baker here. We'll have to give these guns a thorough cleaning after they cool down. Charlie here. We took some losses, and we'll need some time to rest.
accomplish both objectives. It's a training operation, so it makes sense. And there are more of the fake NATO icons, so good times. Alright, we have a major victory. Great. So, more historic stuff. We'll go ahead and... But there'll be another training thing. Yep, so... Tough training here. I mean, it makes sense. You've got to have tough training in order to have tough soldiers, so nothing too horribly surprising there. We'll go ahead and watch this film on little girls and big guns.
Schoolgirls from a nearby convent were the unofficial guests of a Canadian heavy ack-ack battery when they paid a visit to the gun sites and had a good look at the big guns that are keeping enemy raiders at a distance. The battery is situated in a residential district on the outskirts of London and has had pretty good luck against the Hun. The girls and their teachers know full well that these Canadian gunners have played a big part in protecting them. It was a big day for the little girls and a big day for the gunners, where they got a real kick out of showing their young guests just what makes the Nazis nervous.
Interesting ballistic computer, yes, absolutely. Okay, cool. You know what? That looks absolutely miserable, not gonna lie. Alright, we're gonna continue from there. Oh look, another one of them running through water. Water shots are always just overly dramatic and they look really cool, unless you're the poor sap actually doing it. Go ahead and continue. Alright, so we're going to 1943 in Sicily, and finally a battle where we're not having our hand held, so we can actually see what freedom we have during this game itself. So we have to, of course, land, take nearby airfields, towns, etc., and basically allow the rest of our follow-on forces to continue on through Sicily, seizing it before we go on to Italy, and great things there. Play this mission. And here we are, in Italy, in July, which must be incredibly hot, I would imagine. Okay, sunny and windy, many beaches, lots of fish, developed agriculture. Okay, cool. I guess if I ever go there, I can get tomatoes, wine, etc., etc. Some interesting photos, some ones of... That looks like something straight out of the Fallout universe. Okay, roger that. So, ready for the day. Let's watch this, then get into the battle itself. Like I said before, there is a lot of historic documents, films, photos, etc. in this game, so it may be worth it if you're into that.
Canadian-built Rams of the Three Rivers and Calgary tank regiments board their LCTs in preparation for another big landing exercise. Final waterproofing is completed to protect crews and engines, so that as the craft approach the enemy coast and the ramps go down, the tanks can practically tackle a submarine. The chief danger seems to be jellyfish getting caught in the work. hit by an enemy shell, it's the waterproofing being deliberately blown clear of the tank, leaving it ready for immediate action. And when Canadian armor goes into action as the spearhead of the attack we've waited for so long, there'll be few problems which haven't been studied ahead, and no obstacles that won't be beaten with the help of Providence, Canadian ingenuity, and good shooting.
Alright, so conducting an amphibious landing in a tank of that era looks absolutely terrifying. Yeah, let's go ahead and start this operation. Okay, gotta fill unit slots, so basically we need to capture the village of Malcini, then the nearby airfield, and Pacino itself. So this should be one of these missions where it's not going to be a huge issue with the enemy encounter. Take Malcini, then move to the airfield of Pacino. Got it. Alright, so whenever you're actually deploying units, you can select them here by left-clicking, and you can click on their leader personality or hover over it, and it gives you an idea of some of the stats that it changes. So this guy gets more movement speed, but loses sight radius, range, etc. So let's see. Let's put the Loyal Edmonton Infantry as our initial unit. For reserve, might be nice to have someone who's eager, and reinforcements I would like. You know what, let's get the Hastings and Prince Edward Infantry and get them coming in to form a defense as we move forward.
Royal Edmonton Infantry, reporting in as the call sign. Hazel, we're at Foxtrot. 9, infantry ready for the dirty work.
Alright, so as mentioned, we can show some of the stuff and communicate using pencils located to the left. So initial idea is basically to conduct an amphibious landing, seize Malcini, then basically continue on to the airfield itself, attacking in this direction, before moving with our reserves and one infantry unit to seize Pacino itself, located there. Great times. You can also click on the eraser, get rid of all the stuff you drew, so you've got a nice clean map, sanitize it, etc. Alright, let's start this mission. Able, report status.
Able here, we're at Foxtrot. 9.
Able, move to, location 2.
Able here, arm up, we're attacking Malcini.
So I always like to give orders to your initial units as soon as you start, so that as soon as you start the operation, they just begin and they have their orders. Start mission.
Right away, sir. Starting operation.
I'm very pleased at how well these voice commands are actually being recognized. So Abel's moving towards Malcini. Ah, the suspense. I like how the smoke can go completely through the pipe itself. Pretty cool. Able, report status.
Able here. We've captured. We're at North 7 on our way to Malcini.
Great, perfect. Able, report status.
Able here. We're at Fleet Spotted Infantry at India. 5. And we're moving directly towards each other.
Okay.
Able here. On the perimeter on the outskirts of town and are firing on approaching infantry.
So we're in a town, so these guys should be pretty easy to destroy. As far as non-English speaker accents, I really don't know. Obviously, I'm a native English speaker, so I can't really comment. I'm sure looking at probably some of the community hub sections on Steam itself, they provide some.
Able here. Got a visual on Alligator at India. 6.
Okay. Able, report status.
Able here. We're engaged at Orsini. In combat against Alligator. At India. 6. This fight isn't going well.
Alright, that doesn't really help me a whole lot.
Able here. Enemy infantry company is pulling out.
Perfect.
Able here. We lost all Alligator. At Hastings and Prince Edward Infantry here. You can call us Baker. We're at Charlie 7. Boots on the ground win wars.
Baker, move 2, location 3.
Baker, jet control tower at Pacino Airfield. I want it captured intact.
Able, move 2, location 3.
Able here. Jet control tower at Pacino Airfield. I want it captured intact. Baker, got fire coming from that hangar. Swing wide around it. Able here. We lost all Alligator. At Juliet 6. Heading east.
Able, move 2, location 3.
Able here. Roger. Heading Pacino Airfield.
Alright, yeah, so basic map tool features, right? So, yeah. Basically, you can put in here, if you're playing co-op or whatnot, hey, I'm going to take Baker, I'm going to attack on this side of Pacino Airfield. I want you to take Able, moving to the north, and then towards the west, in order to seize that objective itself. So, that's an example. You can then go back through, obviously, grab the eraser, remove things as necessary, redo your plan, and continue forward. And Alt, of course, or clicking the stick there, removes it.
Baker, captain has been wiped out.
Okay, Able, where are you? Able, report location.
Able here. We're at Hotel 5. We're heading to Pacino Airfield.
You guys go any slower? Deploy reserve infantry.
HQ here, Reserve Infantry. Coming right up. C4 Highlanders Infantry, reporting for duty. Will Able here. We take the last of them packing.
Cool. Charlie, move 2, location 2.
Charlie Baker is planting the flag at Pacino Airfield.
Alright.
Baker got a visual on air at India 2. Charlie here. We're here at Mancini. Able here. We've arrived at Pacino Airfield.
Okay. Able, move 2, Juliet 3.
Able here. All right, Integrate Juliet 3.
Baker, dig in.
Baker, Foxhole, coming right up.
Charlie, move 2, Juliet 3.
Charlie here, moving to grid Juliet 3.
I keep forgetting with voice command, one of the advantages is you can do 2 different units and give them the same command. For example, Able and Charlie move to location 1, for example. Able, report status.
Able here, we're at India 4. We're en route to Juliet 3. We've taken minor casualties. Charlie here, enemy infantry are holed up in that hotel. Spread out in advance.
Able, Charlie, move 2, location 1.
Hey, Charlie here, been busy here.
Yeah, so with the false ID, I've seen that in Radio Commander, but usually the units on the ground will actually correct it. I haven't seen
Able
it so
here,
far.
taking a beat out here.
You'll live, Able. Able, Charlie, report status.
Hey, Charlie here, we're engaged at Juliet 3. Listed by Able. We're firing upon Alligator at Lima 4. I don't know about Able here. Turn on with their tails between their legs.
Okay.
Able here. We spotted here at Juliet 1. Heading home west.
Able, Charlie, move 2, location 1.
Charlie here. Consider Pacino to be ours.
So I'm going to send in Able and
Charlie
Charlie.
here. Rifle, move left. Red gun, hold here and here. Able here. We can see Alligator at right 4.
Charlie, report status.
Charlie here. We're engaged. Able here. Ha ha. We Pacino under new management.
Alright, cool. Got both of them in there. Let's see where Alligator is.
Able here. We last saw Alligator at November 4.
Able, Charlie, dig in.
Able here. Charlie here. Grab your shovels, boys. We're digging in. Baker here. We're done digging. Ooh, we can use a break.
Alright, so Baker's dug in. Able and Charlie are digging in at our secondary objective. And, yeah, at this
Baker,
point...
we can see there at India, too. Head right for us.
Alright, so Baker's going to have to handle Bear alone. Able and Charlie are going to remain...
They're in range. I want the control tower as a base of fire.
We've got about a minute and 45 seconds until naval guns are in range and able to assist. Which is kind of interesting that they're not in range for an amphibious landing, but hey, what do I know?
Able here. Got a visual on Alligator at November 4.
So Alligator's just kind of chilling out there in the desert, I guess? Or the beach?
Able here. Hoping foxholes are enough. Charlie here. Don't push them into town. Keep that perimeter intact.
Wow, Charlie's pretty intense. I mean, I guess it reflects the guy's personality. Baker, report status.
Baker, we're engaged that, but no airfield. We're fighting there at Hotel. Lots of them coming quickly here.
Got it.
Baker, we can see there at Hotel. Able here. Spotted Alligator at November 4.
Able, Charlie, report status.
Charlie here. We're at Casino. We've got a few wounded, but nothing serious. We can no longer see Alligator. They were last seen. Baker, that's right. Run, you coward. Baker, you got eyes on. We lost sight of air. They were last seen at Hotel 1, heading north.
Okay, so we've got some enemy reinforcements that will be coming in. Able, report status.
Able here. We're at Lima 3. We're running close to half strength.
Alright, you're good. Charlie, report status.
Charlie here. We're at Casino. We've taken minor casualties.
Alright, you're our strongest unit, makes sense. Baker, report status.
Naval guns of HMC at Saskatchewan. Reporting in this call sign, dog. Everyone be careful and let's get the job done.
Excellent. So at this point, as soon as the enemy decides to attack, if they do, we can unleash the guns on them. See if Alligator...
Charlie here. We last saw Alligator at November 4. Heading east.
Okay, what about Bear?
Baker here. We last saw air at HQ here. Enemy reinforcements are arriving from the north.
Alright, so now we're going to have 2 more enemy infantry units. With these guns available, we should be able to do a number on them, which should be beneficial if it works. Go ahead and enjoy a nice drink and a nice smoke. Delicious. Alright, carry on. Ah, the suspenseful music.
Baker here. We can see infantry at India 1. Head right for us.
Of course they are. Cheetah.
Baker here. Got a visual on Cheetah at Hotel 2. Head right for us.
Dog. Fire. Barrage at Hotel 2.
Dog here. Coordinates confirmed. Firing barrage at Hotel. Able here. Got eyes on. Set up machine guns on the hill. Baker here. An enemy infantry company is pulling out. Dog here. That was a hit. Keep those people here. Got a visual on Bingo at Lima 2.
Dog. Fire barrage at Lima 2.
Dog here. Thunder. Dropping shells on Lima 2. Able here. Send the last from packet. Baker here. We've lost visuals on Cheetah. They were Dog here. Forward observers report that fire mission was successful.
Of course.
Able here. You can no longer see Bingo. Your last team at Juliet 1. Heading northwest.
So there's kind of an artificial time compression put into the base game. So as you'll notice, units are pretty much moving multiple kilometers extremely quickly, which is... it is what it is, I guess. Now, they did release a patch last night, which enabled it so that you can actually have the game move a little bit slower as far as on the ground, so it gives you more time to make decisions. I haven't messed with that option yet. I might do it for next mission. We'll see if there's anybody who wants to see it.
Baker, you've got eyes on there at Hotel 1. Head right for us!
Hotel 1. Okay, sure. Sounds great.
Baker, you spotted there at Hotel 2. Head right! It's you. Your time's almost up.
Dog,
Remember your
fire barrage at Hotel 2.
dog here. Artillery firing at Hotel 2. Baker, you got a visual on Cheetah at... They're running with their tails between their legs.
Okay.
Dog here. Yeah! That was a direct hit! Baker, you lost sight of air. They were last seen at Hotel 1, heading north.
So where's Cheetah?
Baker, you've got eyes on Cheetah at Hotel 1. Head right for us!
Okay, they're moving into attack. Soon. You know what? Dog, fire barrage at Hotel 1.
Dog here. Raining thunder down on Hotel 1.
Next something to think about.
Baker, we lost dog here. I'm getting reports that did some real damage.
Okay. So can't see Cheetah, probably can't see
Baker,
Bear.
we last saw Bear at Hotel 1, heading north. Charlie here. We last saw Alligator at November 4, heading east.
Dingo.
Dingo here. We last saw Dingo at Juliet 1, heading northwest.
Alright, so at this point, no specific enemy contacts encountered. So the range of artillery, I'm not sure, so naval gunfire doesn't really report where their actual position is on the map. They're just somewhere in the ocean. For actual artillery that is on map and on ground, they've got limited barrages they can fire, which kind of sucks, but I guess I can see it for a gameplay mechanic. But it would be nice if there was, a certain amount of time during the operation where they would resupply. I'm not sure if they do that or not. In my playthrough, they didn't appear to. As far as the range of artillery, I've been able to range the entire map all the way
Dingo here.
up
That's
to
right. Run.
operations
Don't
in
last
Italy.
much longer with battles like that. HQ here. We're done here. Unit leaders report for debriefing.
Cool.
Able here took a few losses, but it could have been worse.
Alright, so
Baker, that was a tough battle, but we're still combat ready.
yeah, so again,
Charlie
I haven't
here.
had any
Few
issue with
losses,
artillery.
but it could have been worse.
I guess that does
Dog
play a
here. We'll have to
factor.
give these
I don't
guys
know.
a
I haven't
thorough
noticed
cleaning
it.
after they cool down.
Of course, I do move my artillery forward, so that may be a case. So, at the end of battles, you can estimate the enemy's strength as far as their units. Again, I wish the developers would make it where if you use NATO counters, it actually shows up as NATO counters, as opposed to, stuff that kind of works, but kind of doesn't. So, I'm estimating the enemy had 4 infantry units, which is what we saw. We'll send the report. The more accurate you are, the more bonus veterancy you gain. So, let's see. Cool, so I guess we were successful there. So we held the Chino and held the other airfield. Cool. Alright, so you can drag an award to a unit. I assume that gives them a morale boost. So I think mortars, I believe they come with the infantry, like they're just kind of employed, but you can't actually command them. As far as artillery, it's legitimately just artillery or naval guns, from my understanding at this point, though I haven't played the full campaign, so I don't know. We'll give the Loyal Edmonton Infantry a medal, because they did a pretty good job, and I think they need it, being under strength at this point. Okay, a major victory. Awesome. We'll continue. Okay, did Operation Husky, mission went exceedingly well. Alright, cool, so pretty good. Okay, so you got some photos of guys relaxing in the sun, I guess if you can call it that. Probably being glad they're not in combat at that moment. Then we've got another film, CWAX arrive in Italy. Canadians Women Army Corps. Alright, let's do it.
Excitement is in the air around a certain CWAC barracks somewhere in England. A detachment is preparing to leave for the Mediterranean theater of war. The medical staff is having a field day. The girls are inoculated against every disease in the almanac, including the bite of the Italian wolf. You won't need your winter woolies, Private Smith. You're off to the sunny south. Tropicals will be the order of the day from now on. Join the Army and see the world. A summer cruise to the land of romance costs plenty of folding money in peacetime. Now you can make the trip on the government and draw Army pay to boot. A little thing like a lurking Jerry submarine just lends spice to the outing. From the happy faces of our CWACs as they come ashore, no hardships were suffered. They refused to confirm the rumor that the sergeant major served tea in their bunks every morning. At GHQ, the hand-picked contingent will relieve soldiers for frontline duty. A hearty welcome is extended to the Canadian Army girls who have traveled so far to carry on for victory.
Awesome times. It's like, hey, welcome. Now, all men, go to the front. Alright, we're going to continue to the next operation. After a night march through ridges and mountains, one unit has become lost, and we have lost communication with another. Enemy panzers are on the way, and we must seize this town before morning. Awesome. Okay. So, one of the things that you'll notice as you go forward in the campaign is the units that you will use in previous battles become both exhausted as well as under strength, which we will see after we look at more of this historic documentation. Heck yeah. Okay. Alright, Central Italy. Okay, a amendment, pretty standard, that happens in the military. So, let's look at attack.
Of key importance to the success of armored divisions is the work done by the motorized infantry battalions. It is their job to keep the armor moving by seizing and mopping up centers of resistance and by consolidating and holding features taken by the armored units. With men and carriers moving across country at top speed to reach the point of attack, the Westminster Regiment show just what the job involves. This Westminster assault symbolizes the spirit of attack which dominates the whole Canadian Army. It is an army which has played a long waiting game, but whose turn is close at hand. An army highly trained and highly skilled, ready, willing and able to tackle the big job that lies ahead.
All right, those drivers were getting it, for sure. That was actually pretty fun to watch. Okay, so as stated before, basically you've got understrength and exhausted units basically perform worse. So, for example, this obviously is, with the gameplay, you can't use the C4th Highlanders infantry, for example, who are exhausted in every single mission, or they're going to perform significantly worse than if you give them time to rest. Same with the loyal Edmonton infantry. I could deploy them again, but they're exhausted and they're under strength, so they're going to be not effective at all. Now, as far as going in and getting points, you basically got your skill tree, basic stuff, track and field, combat drills, and cover training. I'm sure there's some way to min, max, and get awesome stuff with all these statistics. Honestly, I just go with combat drills initially for infantry. Since they're infantry, they're designed to attack and kill things. So I want them to be able to do that. Which none of these guys will use in this mission because I want to give them a chance to rest up as well as get some, more soldiers into their ranks with the loyal Edmonton infantry. Now, what's interesting is you can actually play previous missions, so I could play the previous mission, for example, over and over again, send in different infantry units, level them up, and then be able to go forward in the campaign with very highly trained infantry, which I guess if you're going into a very difficult mission, that is a way that you can kind of game the system, I suppose. So, we've got 4 infantry slots and 1 tank slot. We'll take the 3 Rivers tanks, because we have no other option. Apologies, my mouse is kind of acting up. I need to get a new one. This guy's aggressive. I like aggressive. We'll put him there. We'll pair him with someone who is superstitious, I guess. Sure, why not? I have some sneaky reinforcements and cautious or timid. You know what? I actually kind of like timid. I can leave the reserve on a landmark objective and have them just remain there and basically sit for the entire mission. So, it's all about trying to employ
Regina Rifles, infantry company here. You can call us Avo. If no one finds us, someone drops the map.
Ready to go, Abel. Okay, so we know that Baker is somewhere in here. We know that Abel is... Well, let's find out where they are. Abel, report status.
Avo here. We're lost, but we can see a road 1 kilometer north of us.
I'm going to guess that this is probably the road they can see. Once they reach it, they can reorient and continue from there. Move this over. So, another thing I'm really not a fan of is how the objective clipboard always covers up part of your map. And there are cases in some operations where, yes, you actually do have to operate on the fringe there. So it would be nice if that spawned somewhere else, maybe. I don't know. Okay, let's start this mission. Well, before that. Abel, move north.
Avo here. Roger, head to the north.
Start mission.
Here, Roger. Mission is a go.
So Abel should be able to move north.
Avo here. Oh, that's where we are. We're at Juliet 6.
Abel, move to Mike 8.
Avo here. Roger, moving to Mike 8.
So, like the training operation, if we encounter Baker, we'll be able to give them radios, and then we'll be able to move somewhere to attack. So, what I'm thinking is I'm probably going to move Abel and Baker to about Foxtrot 6, try to get Baker on the high ground at Echo 7, move forward, attack Crossroads Location 2 with both units, seize that, allow our tanks to move through. Guess I can draw on the map, right? Allow our tanks to move through, seize basically Location 1, and then set up a defense right along
Baker
the
here. Boy, are we glad to see you guys. We're at November 7th.
Cool. Awesome, Baker. Alright. Abel, Baker, move 2, Golf 6.
Baker here. Go 6. It is.
Abel, Baker, report status.
Baker here. We're at November 7th. We're headed to Go 6.
Another thing you can do if you want to do something similar is just click all report location.
Baker here. We're at November 6th. On our way to Go 6. Baker here. We're at November 6. We're en route to Go 6. Able here. Arrived at Go 6.
Alright, I want to wait for Baker to catch up with them, try to send them into the hills, try Echo 8, and then move Able forward, try to get one force with the high ground. We'll see if that works. Baker, report status.
Baker here. We're at Juliet 5 on our way to Go 6.
So it looks like location 1 is cleared of enemy forces, or at least there's nothing in that vicinity at this time that Baker is able to spot. Now, keep in mind they are wandering around in the middle of the night without any form of night vision.
Baker here. Movement is more difficult than anticipated. Baker here. We're here at Go 6.
Alright. Baker, move to Echo 8.
Baker here. Moving to Grid Echo 8.
So, try to get them there, move Able into attack, then move Baker into attack as well. And in theory, we should have one force attacking in this direction, while Able is able to provide support by fire on the crossroads location itself. Yes, awesome drawings. Go ahead and erase all that so it's a little more clear, easier to see everything. Baker, report status.
Baker here. We're at Foxtrot 7. We're headed to Echo 8.
Deploy reserve infantry.
HQ here. Deploying reserve infantry. 48 highlighters infantry. Reporting for duty. Will be easy. I think we're lost.
Easy. Move north.
Easy here. Moving north.
I'm assuming they're probably going to appear somewhere
Easy
this
here.
way.
We're not lost anymore. We're at India 6.
Easy. Move to location 1.
Easy here. Count on us to capture Valguanera.
I want to go to try and garrison that town.
Baker here. We've arrived at Echo 8. Easy here. Valguanera is ours now.
Awesome. Easy. Dig in.
Easy here. Foxhole coming right up.
Able. Baker. Move to location 2.
Baker here. Preparing to assault. Crossroads. Baker here. We've spotted infantry at Crossroads.
Okay.
Baker here. Got eyes on anti-tank gun. Able here. First platoon, step left. Second platoon, maintain suppressor fire.
Baker should be moving into the south.
Royal Winnipeg Rifle. Infantry, company, reporting in as call sign. Charlie, can someone come find us? Someone dropped the map.
So I don't really understand all the issues we're having. Charlie, report status. As far as their locations. Report status.
Charlie, Baker here. We've won this engagement.
Okay. Charlie, move north.
Charlie here. You got it. Moving. Able here. Charlie here. Oh, so that's where we are. We're at India 6.
Alright. Charlie, move to Mike 4.
Charlie here. All right. Heading to grid. Easy here. We're done digging. Able here. Half the unit's been wiped out.
Okay.
Baker here. There's more where that's come from. Able here. We've captured Crossroads. Able here. We've spotted air at Bravo 4. You lost visuals on air. Your last team at Bravo 4.
I'm gonna have
Heading
Able
north,
stay at
west.
Crossroads. Probably have Baker move forward to this defensive position as soon as our tanks arrive.
Charlie here. We're here at Mike 4.
Okay. Charlie, dig in.
Charlie here. Dig deep, boys. Baker here. We've arrived at Crossroads.
Okay. Able, dig in.
Able here. Grab your tunnel points. We're digging in. Get down. We're being down from an unknown position.
Alright. Baker, move to Bravo 4.
Baker here. Moving to grid Bravo 4.
Dog, move to Bravo 4.
Dog here. Roger. Moving to Bravo 4.
So one of the things
Dog,
that anti-tank...
the infantry got it. Don't let them surround the column.
Dog, report status.
Dog, you engaged that crossroad. Assisted by Baker. We are firing upon Alligator at Bravo 4. Everyone is still combat ready. Able here. Shot air at Bravo 4. Heading northwest.
Okay, so one of the things that anti-tank guns can actually do as well is they can be used as makeshift artillery.
Shortly. Able here. It's no good. It's no good. Baker here. Left right. Run, you coward.
Dog, move to Mike 4.
Dog, starting combat. Able here. Shot air at Bravo 4. Heading north. HQ here. Enemy reinforcements are arriving from the east.
Able, Dog, move to Alpha 4.
Dog here. Moving to grid Alpha 4. Baker here. We're engaged. Darley here. Right to our ambush. Right into them.
Okay.
Darley here. We're engaged. That's right. 4. We got that. Against the at Foster 4. We're fresh stable. Baker Able here. We can see air at Alpha 4. Heading east.
Okay. Dog, move to Mike 4.
Dog here. Let's get into those foxholes at Mike 4.
Yep.
Able here. Arrived at Alpha 4.
Able, move to location 2.
Able here. Garrisoning crossroads.
Baker, move to India 6.
Baker here. India 6. Fire! Get down! And everyone's shooting at us. Infantry.
Okay, so they're going to start engaging. Dog, report status.
Dog, you engaged that. You're fighting Alligator at Bravo. Our unit close to the attack. They've got the upper hand.
Baker, report status.
Baker here. We're at Bravo 5. We're en route to India 6. We've suffered moderate
Baker,
casualties.
move to Foxtrot 6.
Baker here. Roger. Moving to Foxtrot 6.
Alpha, Able, report status.
Able here. We're at Bravo 5. On our way to Crossroads. Casualties are piling up here.
Alright, well, once you get to Crossroads, you can dig in. Charlie, report status.
Charlie here. We're engaged. That's right. Quickly here.
Dog, report status.
Dog here. We're engaged. Get down. We're being shot from the unknown. Charlie here. This is too much heat. Getting out of dodge.
Alright, they're retreating. Able, report status.
Able here. We're at Bravo 5. We're heading to Crossroads. We don't have enough dogs here. Half the unit is wiped out.
Baker, report status.
Baker here. We're at Crossroads here. We can see Peter at Kilo 4. And right for us. Dogs here. They're running with their tails between their legs.
Dog, move to Juliet 4.
Dogs here. Headed to Juliet 4.
Charlie, report status.
Charlie here. We're at Kilo 2. We've suffered moderate casualties.
Charlie, move to Kilo 4.
Charlie here. Kilo 4. Able here. We're here at Crossroads. Baker here. We lost sight of Alligator. They were last seen at Hotel here. We no longer see Alligator. Last seen. Charlie here. Everyone. This is Sergeant.
Dog, report status.
Dog, you're at Juliet 6. We're running close to half strength. Baker here. Here and Echo 4. Baker here. The bullet town is rising too fast. Requesting to...
Able, move to Echo 4.
Able here. Roger, moving to Echo. Dog here. We're here at Juliet 4. Charlie here. You last saw...
Dog, move to Echo 4.
Dog here. Alright, heading to grid Echo 4.
Charlie, report status.
Charlie here. We're at Kilo 4. We've suffered moderate casualties.
So as you can tell, this game does get pretty intense over time.
Baker here. One engagement. We're at Echo 5. On our way to Able here. And eyes on air. At Delta 4. Heading west.
Alright. Charlie, dig in.
Able here. Charlie here. Foster, your left. At Charlie 4. Heading
Able,
west.
move to location 2.
Able here. We'll hold crossroads for ya.
Dog, report status.
Dog here. You're at Foxtrot 4. We're headed to Echo 4. We're running close to half strength.
Dog, move to golf set 6. Move to golf 6.
Dog here. Moving to Great Golf 6.
Thank you, dog. Excellent. Alright, let's
Dog
get
here. We're at Valguanera.
there. Charlie, Easy's there.
Easy here. We're at Valguanera. Able here. We're here at Crossroads. Able here. 16 boys. HQ here. The operation's nearly over.
Alright, cool. So we're at least in a position where we've got mostly a defensive perimeter set up. We've taken both of the objectives. We now just have to hold on for about a minute and 45 seconds.
Able here. We lost all air at Charlie 4. Heading west. Charlie here. What holes are dug? Let's get cozy.
Awesome.
Charlie here. We last saw cheetah. Dog here. We last saw alligator at Juliet 7. Heading east.
Okay, Juliet 7 heading east, so into those hills at that point. Dog, report status.
Dog here. You're at Foxtrot 5. We're headed to Golf 6. We've suffered moderate casualties.
Baker, report status.
Baker here. We're at Echo 5. We're en route to Echo 4. Casualties are piling up here.
Yeah. Baker, move to Echo 6.
Baker here. Roger. Moving to Echo 6. Able here. We're done digging. Use the brake.
Cool. So Abel's entrenched. Easy, you guys entrenched.
Baker here. We've arrived at Echo 6.
Easy, dig in.
Easy here. Grab your shovels, boys. We're digging in. Dog here. We're here at Golf 6.
Alright. Take a smoke break. So, as you can probably see during combat, especially with using voice commands, this game gets pretty hectic very quickly, which is not necessarily a bad thing, since you're playing a strategy game that keeps you on your toes and keeps you interested.
Able here. It's a full-blown rout. The enemy's all running.
Alright, and we have
Your time is up and
successfully
the operation's over. All units
seized
sign out.
and defended the objectives using this combined
Able here.
arms
Unit
approach.
severely under threat. Gonna need a ton of replacement. Baker here. It was too much for our unit. Requesting to be taken off the line. Charlie here. That was a tough battle, but we're still combat ready. Dog here. We took some losses and we'll need some time to rest.
Cool. Alright, so I'm estimating
A light beating. Nothing too serious.
that there is 1 unit of infantry, 1 unit of tanks, and 1 anti-tank gun on the map. And it looks like we're correct, so there's a 200% bonus to the experience gained in this battle. So I'm going to be honest, I think that Dog during this battle did a lot of fighting. As far as being able to maneuver and reinforce defenses. So they'll get the Cool Guy medal for this operation, and got another major victory. We'll continue forward, watch this film, and then I think the next mission is the last mission in the Sicily campaign. So we'll do that and move forward. But first, okay. Enemies referred to the Canadian forces as Mountain Boys. Pretty interesting, I guess. Alright, so students in battle dress, and we'll see this and continue.
The headmaster of this little red schoolhouse wears battle dress and 3 pips. He is the supervisor of the educational services which conduct classes in operational areas of the Italian front. All units are kept constantly up to date with the syllabus of available courses in a wide variety of subjects from chemistry to history. These are designed to prepare the men for their return to Civvy Street. In addition, correspondence courses and last-minute news bulletins are regularly compiled at field headquarters. A well-organized system of dispatch utilizing all existing means of communication takes this material rapidly to the men throughout the far-flung forces. In this way, lads on outpost duty are able to know what goes on in the outside world and carry on with the study of their chosen subjects while resting, momentarily, from the actual business of war. The school bell doesn't ring in an improvised seat of learning, nor will teacher keep his pupils after school if they don't give the right answers. They are all keen to master even maths if it will help win the war. Setting up and conducting classes under difficult conditions, such as on an alert ACAC post, is all in the day's work of these instructors who serve a large number of units. In future years, Canadian fighting men will have good cause to be grateful to the educational services. Other students in battle dress are studying grimmer problems. The immediate task of learning how to dislodge the enemy from his occupied positions in town. The Italian campaign has featured many actions where our infantry have had to force every inch of their advance by bitter house-to-house combat. In modern warfare, all details of an assault are worked out ahead of time. Experts in the art of annihilation teach all the tricks learned from the engagements with the enemy. Every fighting man is given the opportunity of explaining his own pet method of handling a difficult situation, and experience is gained by battle maneuvers. In this way, every detail is taken into account to speed the sweep of our united armies as they move ever forward toward the fortress of Europe and final victory.
All right, so cool. So if you want, you can go back to a level and play it on free play where it removes unit restrictions, etc. So you can basically just go onto the map and play stuff. Another thing I didn't mention is you've got the casualty reports here. You can basically see who died, was wounded, etc. during each battle that you fought thus far in your campaign. So, interesting, I suppose. If you want to, get a little bit more immersed in the actual game itself. Alright, we're going to do the final battle of the Sicily campaign, then I'm probably going to call it for today as far as this stream. So, we've got to capture some fortress towns, and of course they're minefields. So we've got to employ engineers to clear said minefields, so our tanks and infantry can then proceed forward, capture these towns, and we can continue on with the war, moving that from Sicily to Italy proper. And yes, as I previously did. Okay, so sunny, and we've got 2 attacks in mountains. So, let's watch DRs train for action, or the dispatch riders, which I'm sure we'll learn all about that in this short film.
see a dispatch rider of the Royal Canadian Army Service Corps riding his Harley-Davidson through a convoy as though born to the saddle, remember he has achieved this effortless skill in a hard school. At a training center in Canada, he lived for weeks on a bike. Starting out with simple road work, he is soon engaged in the rugged pastime of cross-country riding. The Service Corps hell drivers would rather ride than eat. Dodging landmines is just a preliminary to the real thing soon to be encountered overseas. Yet, you have to have cast iron nerves to be a DR in the RCASC.
All right, that looks like a pretty badass job, honestly. Assuming you enjoy riding motorcycles through minefields, explosions, etc. So yeah, this was of course necessary during the war to make sure that you're actually bringing messages, etc. from one command to another so that generals actually know what's going on. Alright, so as before, we've got these guys who have fought. We're going to train the infantry all in combat drills. Again, I am no expert at how to specifically build these guys to be, the most optimum units they can be. So we're just going for a kind of generalist role. And train the tanks in gunnery drills so they can actually know how to shoot. Probably a good thing for tankers. So we've got the Fort Garry Horse tanks. Put those in the tank slot. Now, infantry, we've got artillery, so we've got the Royal Canadian Artillery. That's our only option, so they'll go there. Let's see. Their commander is bold, so they lose 40% of the defense. Well, they're artillery, so in theory, they shouldn't be defending, but they're significantly quicker. Okay, engineers, we've got the Royal Canadian Engineers, and we've got the 1st Field Company Engineers. So that kind of eliminates that. And what's nice up here with the available units is you can remove specific types, so you can just basically look at what you want to see. So in this case, I'm going to have the Loyal Edmonton Infantry be the first on scene. I'll have the Hastings and Prince Edward Infantry come in as well for reinforcements later on. And our reserves are going to be the Seaforth Highlanders Infantry. And we're going to do this operation.
Royal Canadian Engineers, reporting for duty. Will be A4. We're at Papa 2. Need something built or blown up. Engineers got you covered.
Okay, so I want to start with Able going to about Mike 4. Able, move to Mike 4.
Able here. Alright. Heading to grid Mike 4.
Deploy reserve engineers.
HQ here, reserve engineers. Coming right up. 3rd Field Company Engineers, reporting in as the call sign. George, we're at Papa 2. We got shovels and we got mines. Ready for some dirty work.
George, move to Mike 6.
George here. Mike 6, it is.
So we'll start this operation with them moving forward and starting to clear landmines so we can move tanks and infantry in. What I initially want to do is seize location 3 here. Seize location 2, and then move forward with both of these forces, kind of meet up at this point. And then seize location 1 and kind of the final attack. Now, we'll have to leave some infantry basically at location 3 as well as location 2 to make sure that these locations don't fall to the enemy who may be roving through the rear of our lines. Start mission.
You heard the general. Move out.
Alright. So of course you move engineers into a minefield to start clearing it. Kind of one of their purposes. See, our 1st infantry arrive in 40 seconds. I want to deploy them as well as our reserves.
George here. Hold position, engineers. We've entered a hostile minefield. We'll start clearing it, but it'll take a while. And we can't do it while we're fighting or moving.
Okay, so both George and Able have encountered enemy minefields, which is exactly what we want them to do. This will take a little bit of time, but we've got it. About another minute before our artillery arrive, 3 minutes before our tanks arrive. I don't want to start the assault on
Royal
location
Infantry
3
here.
without our tanks.
You can call us. Baker. We're at Papa 1. Riflemen, ready to do our part.
Baker, move 2, November 4.
Baker, moving to grid, November 4. Baker,
Deploy reserve.
November
Infantry.
4. HQ here, deploying reserve infantry. Seaforth Highlanders Infantry, reporting for duty. We'll be Fox. We're at Papa 2. We're itching for a fight.
Fox, move 2, November 6.
Fox here, Roger. Moving to November 6.
Okay. Wait until they move forward. Able, move 2, Kilo 5.
Able here, headed to Kilo 5.
Baker, move 2, Lima 5.
Baker here, Lima 5. It is.
George, move 2, Kilo 8.
North here, Royal. Able here, we spotted infantry and Zoro.
Able, retreat.
Able here, we're combat engineers. We sure prefer engineering.
Yep, absolutely.
Able here, and we're at Lima 5. Baker here, we've arrived at Lima 5.
Stay in that position for now.
North here, we're here at Kilo 8.
Fox, move 2, Kilo 8.
Fox here, headed to Kilo 8.
Charlie, move 2, November 4.
Charlie here, alright, heading to grid, November 4.
George, move 2, Hotel 9.
Charlie here, North here, Hotel 9, it is. Fox here, we're here at Kilo 8.
George, report status.
North here, we're at India 9, on our way to Hotel 9.
Fox, move 2, Indian 9.
Fox here, moving to grid, India 9.
Alright, I want to wait until the tanks arrive on scene in about 43 seconds. I'll have them move forward to Lima 5, then Baker,
Fox
as
here,
well as...
we're here at India 9.
Thank you, Fox. Then Baker, as well as the tanks, will attack location 3 with indirect fire, as well as supporting to eliminate Alligator, push them off the objective, and then proceed forward. George, move 2, Golf 8.
North here, Roger, moving to Golf 3.
George, move 2, Golf 8.
North here, headed to, we've arrived at Golf 8.
Okay.
Fort Gary Horse tanks here. You can call us Dog. We're at Papa 2. Tanks ready to roll.
Dog, move 2, Lima 5.
Dog here. Alright. Heading to grid Lima 5.
Fox, move 2, Golf 8.
Fox here. Golf 8. It is. Dog here. We've arrived at Lima 5.
Baker, Dog, move 2, location 3.
Dog here. Preparing to assault. Zoro.
Charlie, fire barrage at location 3.
Infantry. Charlie here. Roger. Dropping shells on India 5. Fox here. We're here at Golf 8. We see Alligator at Zoro.
Alright, so I'm going to drop rounds in Alligator. Baker, Dog, port status.
Down here, we're able here. That's right. Run, you cowards.
So that was pretty successful.
Still combat ready. Planting the flag at Zoro. Baker, got a visual on Alligator at Hotel 5. Baker, we've lost visuals on Alligator. They were last seen at Golf 5, heading west.
Able, move 2, Golf 5.
Able here, moving to grid, Golf 5.
Charlie, move 2, Juliet 5.
Charlie here, headed to Juliet 5. Doc here, we've arrived at Zoro. Able here, those sounds. Grab your right.
Dog, move 2, Hotel 5.
Doc here, Roger.
Baker, move to Hotel 5.
Dock here. You're here at Hotel 5.
Baker, move to Hotel 5.
Baker, headed to Hotel 5. Able here. We've spotted Alligator. Charlie here. We've arrived at Juliet 5.
Awesome. Able, move to Foxtrot 5.
Baker here. We've arrived at Hotel 5.
Okay. Able, move to Foxtrot 5.
Able here. All right. Heading to grid Foxtrot 5. Able here. You're here at Foxtrot 5.
Baker, dog, move to Foxtrot 5.
Dock here. All right. Heading to grid Foxtrot 5.
George, move to Foxtrot 8.
Dock here. We've arrived at
Foxtrot 8.
5. George here. Moving to grid Foxtrot 8. Baker here. We're here at Foxtrot 5.
Okay.
Able here. We can no longer see Alligator. They were last seen at Delta 4, heading northwest.
Okay. I want to have Baker, Fox move into location 2. Won't able to clear to Charlie 5. Able, move to Charlie 5.
Able here. All right. Heading to grid Charlie 5.
Baker, dog, move to Foxtrot 5.
It's Able here. All right, engineers. Spread out and start clearing this minefield.
Okay, got a minefield there. Fox, move to Foxtrot 8.
Fox here. Moving to grid Foxtrot 8.
Got our
Fox
infantry here.
We've arrived at 8th Prince Edward Infantry. Reporting for duty. We'll be easy. We're at Papa 4. Let's show what we're
Easy,
made of.
move to location 3.
Easy here. Roger. Garrisoning the Toro.
Okay, wait till Able is done with their task.
Able here. We last saw. Fox here. We can see there at Leon Fort.
Charlie, move to Hotel 5.
Charlie here. Headed to Hotel 5.
Correction. Charlie, move to location 3.
Charlie here. Garrisoning Astorno. We're here at Astorno.
Okay, Able's done with that. Able, move to Delta 5.
Able here. Delta 5. It is.
Baker, dog, move to Echo 5.
Alligator and Dock here. Headed to Echo 5. Dock here. You're here at Echo 5. Easy here. We've arrived at Astorno.
Great.
Baker here. We've arrived at Echo 5.
Baker, dog, George, Fox, move to location 2.
George here. Arm up. We're attacking the unfortunate.
Charlie, fire barrage act.
All right.
Delta 7.
Charlie here. Artillery firing at Delta 7.
Easy, move to Delta 5.
Easy here. Moving to grid Delta 5. Able here. An enemy infantry company is pulling out. Fox here. Leon Fort. Charlie here. Yeah, that was a direct hit.
Baker, dog, move to Charlie 5.
Dock here.
Able, move to Charlie 5.
Able here. Moving to grid Charlie 5.
We'll wait for George and Fox. George, Fox, report status.
George here. We're at the unfort. We can see there at Charlie 9.
George and Fox. Alright, I'll have them dig in. Let's see what George can do. They can build fortifications. Cool, I guess.
Dock here. We've arrived at Charlie 5. Easy here. Got eyes on Alligator at Charlie 3.
Able, move to Charlie 4.
Able here. Baker here. We've arrived at Charlie 5. George here. We lost sight of air. Your last seen at Bravo. Able here. I want every tall building in that town turned into rubble.
Dog, easy, Baker. Move 2. Charlie 2.
Easy here.
Charlie.
Stay frosty, everyone. Heading to
Fire barrage at Charlie 2.
Charlie here. Raining thunder down on Charlie. Doc here. We've begun shouting enemy citizens in town. Baker, you've got eyes on air at Alpha 7, heading north. Doc here.
Alright, we beat the hell out of these
Baker,
guys.
we last saw Alligator at Victoria, heading north. Charlie here. I'm getting reports that did some real damage.
Yep, roger that, Charlie.
Baker, we can see Cheetah at Charlie 3. It's short here. We're at the unfortunate. There's more where that's come from.
Dog, report status.
Doc here. We're at Charlie 4. We're headed to Charlie. Baker, we're at Charlie 5. We've taken my... Easy here. We're at Delta 5.
Easy. Move 2. Location 1.
Easy here. You can count on us to capture Victoria.
Alright.
Able here. I think that's everyone. We've assembled at Delta 6. Baker, got a visual on air. Doc here. Infantry, take cover behind the tanks. I want fire superiority now. Baker, we're engaged at Charlie 5, Dog. We also have reports of enemy air at Alpha 5.
Okay, who are they attacking? Alright. Charlie. Fire barrage at Alpha 5.
Charlie here. Coordinates confirmed. Firing barrage at Alpha 5.
Beat up there.
Doc here. They're taking a beating out here. Run, you cowards. Doc here. We last saw Cheetah, and we're under machine gun fire from an unknown position. Charlie here. The Marvin was on target.
Easy. Report status.
Easy here. We're at Delta 5.
Easy. Move 2. Location 1.
Easy here. Arm up. We're attacking Victoria.
Baker. Move 2. Location 1.
Baker, moving out to Victoria. They'll be expecting us.
It seems like some of the units, I don't know if it's because they get into contact or if they just kind of don't follow orders.
Baker, you've got eyes on air at Alpha 5.
Alright. Dog, report status.
Doc, we're engaged at
Charlie. Fire barrage at Charlie 3.
Charlie here. Roger. Dropping shells on Charlie 3. Barrage is remaining. Doc here. Hold on. Firing. Get down. And anyone see who's Charlie here? That was a hit.
Easy. Report status.
Easy here. We're at Delta 5.
Like, why are they not moving to this
Easy
position?
here. Preparing to assault Victoria. Baker, roger. Heading to Victoria. Baker, spotted air at Alpha 5. Baker, we're engaged at Charlie 5, Dog. We also have reports of enemy Alligator at Charlie 3, air at Alpha 5. Easy here. We're at Delta 5.
Okay, can you move forward?
Easy here. Consider Doc. It's so good. It's so good. Alligator. Labor last team. And Victoria. Heading. We left zone. And Victoria. Heading north.
Okay. Fox, move 2. Alpha 5. Fox, move 2. Move 2. Alpha 5.
Fox here. Moving to grid Alpha 5.
Baker, report status.
Baker, we're engaged at Charlie 5 and are supported by Dog. We also have reports of enemy air at Alpha 5.
Easy. Report status.
Dog here. Easy here. We're at Delta 5.
Okay.
Easy here. Stay frosty, everyone. Down here. We're gonna lose more tanks if we stay. Squadron pulling out. Some of the tanks drove up. Gotta go. Baker, you've got eyes on. We can no longer see Alligator. They were last seen at Charlie 3, heading north. Baker, count on us to capture Victoria. Down here, we last saw Cheetah and Victoria. Baker, we last saw Alligator at Charlie 3. Spotted Bear at Alpha 5.
Fox, report status.
Fox, here. We're at Leon Fort. Fox, here. Moving to grid Alpha 5.
Why is no one moving?
Charlie here. Artillery firing at Charlie 2. Barrages remaining. Doc here. I think that's everyone. We've assembled at Delta 5. Baker, form up. We're attacking Victoria. Easy here. Post. Forward observers report that fire mission was successful.
Okay.
Baker, we lost sight of air. They were last seen at Bravo 3, heading northeast.
Baker, easy. Report status.
Easy here. We're at Delta 5.
Baker, easy. Move to location 1.
Easy here. Roger. Heading Victoria. Able here. All right. Heading to grid down here. Echo 5. It is.
I don't know what's going on, obviously, and why these guys aren't moving. Maybe it's because they were seeing bear,
Baker,
or they were getting engaged or something. I don't know.
Able here. That's the last we'll see of those enemy infantry.
So Alligator's dead.
Doc here. We last saw Cheetah and Victoria. Heading Baker. We're at HQ here. Time's almost up. Remember your objectives. Baker, consider Victoria. Be ours. Easy here. Stay frosty, everyone. Heading to Victoria.
Okay, so this is kind of frustrating.
Easy here. We're at Delta 5.
Why are they not moving? You know what?
Easy here. There's no enemies to retreat from.
Okay.
Baker, Foxhole, coming right up.
Alright, I'm just gonna see if Dog can
Doc
take it.
here. You can count on us to capture. Able here. Form up. We're
Maybe able.
attacking Victoria.
I guess we'll find out.
Able here. We're at Delta 6. We're en route to Victoria. We don't have enough medical supplies for the wound. Doc here. We're at Delta 5. On our way to Victoria. We need an aid station. There's too many wounded here. Easy here. Moving out to Victoria. Baker, preparing to assault Victoria.
Okay, did we seize it? Probably not. So, I don't know why none of my units are moving. Let's see.
Charlie here. Roger. Moving to Golf 5. Charlie here. We're at Hotel 5.
Okay,
We're
they're
heading
moving.
to Golf 5. Baker, we're at Charlie 5. We've got a few wounded, but nothing serious. Able here. The enemy is falling back on us. Lux. HQ here. That's a wrap. All units dig in and wait till relief.
Okay, well, I mean, we're not going to be able to
Able here.
seize
Orders
that
on the
objective,
unit are
but,
casualties.
estimation, yeah, 3
Baker,
infantry.
those damn replacements keep getting killed. Charlie here. Artillery battery still operational. Where's our next target? Doc here. This one hurts. Not sure anyone's gonna survive this war.
So we didn't seize Nestoria. Again, I don't know why my units just kind of were locked in place and didn't move. So to say that's frustrating is an understatement, obviously. But I mean, as far as grouping orders, I think you have to call up the individual units' call signs. So, for example, you could say something like Baker, Easy, Fox, move to location 3. And in theory, they should move. Now, with this mission, again, I'm not really quite too sure what occurred. At all. Yeah, I just don't know. I think we'll give Able a medal because they did pretty good. This will probably just be a minor victory. Yep. So, again, I don't really know why we we couldn't move forward and seize that final town, which is very frustrating to say the least. But obviously we won the battle regardless, wiped out one enemy infantry company. So yeah, count some major resistance. Cool. Alright, we'll watch The Show Goes On, and then that's going to wrap up this stream.
Hurry, 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 folks. It's showtime in the old Garrison Theater tonight. The house is jammed. Standing room only is the order of the day because Johnny Canuck gets a kick out of shows put on by fellow Canadians. Isn't he a honey boy? Wherever our troops go, there you will find one of the various concert parties or the Canadian Army show. Each unit is self-contained and can go into full dress operation 2 hours after arrival. Composed of service personnel, the concert parties carry on the best traditions of show business. Right under the guns of the enemy in Italy, they erect their theater. After hard fighting, troops can forget the war as they hear the merry songs and watch the snappy routines of the dancers. The demand for entertainment increased. The first Canadian Army show was formed in Canada. Overseas, it operates as 5 units. A strictly military organization, the units represent the sections of a company. Every show is a parade to these servicemen and women. The troops consider them the best parades anyone could be privileged to attend.
Hello, everybody. This is one of the 5 units of the 1st Canadian Army show overseas. For the next 90 minutes, we want you to lean back and relax and laugh with us. And now we have Unit E. For Canada, we march along as we sing a song of freedom. Everyone's a real frontliner. In all the world there is one fighter. We unite to fight for liberty and victory on land and sea. Here's the job that's got to be done, and we'll never give up the one. We'll never gain our free. We'll never gain our free. Girls, the night. Now, I've just received a copy of our orders for the night. They say we must amuse the boys and give with all our might. To me, this seems a little strange. I'm from the older school. But though I don't quite understand, we must obey the rules. Still on parade, the cast must doff the grease paint and pack up. On every front, entertainment follows the army. The modern military troopers are carrying on, in smashing style, the old tradition, the show must go on.
Alright, that was exceptionally long, and I will say that that kind of makes me glad that I don't live in the 1940s. Alright, cool. So, that guy definitely looks like he is considering life in that photo. Let's see. Loyal Edmonton Regiment, who received the military medal for his actions. Oh, that's pretty cool. To actually see, you know, units that we're commanding within the game and their actual real-life equivalents. Pretty cool. So, that concludes the Sicily campaign. Next will be 1943 and 44 Italy. That'd be the next logical step to go to. For now, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this live stream. If there are any individuals out there who wish to see this continued, please let me know in the comments, and I'll consider doing it if there is interest. As for the units not advancing, taking some time during that previous short, we'll call it, to think about it, it could be potentially that maybe our units had a lot of wounded and were struggling with that, but I don't know why none of the infantry were moving. I'll see if maybe contacting the developers via Steam, if that's possible, if they have any explanation, or if perhaps I found a bug or a feature. If I find out an answer, I'll let you guys know in the comments below. So, without anything else, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. So, hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys around. I'll actually be live streaming Steel Beast tomorrow, so if you're interested in a tank simulation game, which is kind of what my channel really has on it as far as content, feel free to tune in tomorrow and see that. In the meantime, peace.